Hello, and welcome to another fun-filled week in Florida. We've been here for several of them, and it's starting to get warm. I'm still wearing my flannel, of course. Now, the reason we've been in Florida is because I've been doing a conversion on this ERV. Now, last week, we left off with me rounding the bases and trying to get these cabinets finished up. Obviously, I'm still moving forward. I'm clamping and gluing and routing and cutting and jigging and doing all of the fun. Y'all hang on, this week, we're gonna make this thing look purty. Now, one of the many steps getting this thing paint ready is finishing up the drawers. Now, obviously, I built these with pocket screws and plywood, and that's gonna make for a very sturdy drawer. I also utilized these heavy-duty slide setups, and I built undermount slides, if you will, but they allow for a couple 100 pounds of gear to be shoved in these boxes, which is important because these cabinets are weirdly low because we're playing a weird height game in here due to the lifty up and down bed. And because of that, shoving stuff in the back of these cabinets would be almost impossible to get, so I'm making the cabinets come out. Let's make this thing look pretty, because it's not. Hello, Kelsey.
Hello, what you working on there?
Oh, this is a bed frame, actually. The tiniest bed in the world. This is part of the hinge set for the third bed, which is over the booth there.
There's so many beds in this thing. Oh, guys, it's a beautiful day today. I am loving all of this Florida sunshine. Let's see if we can sneak up on Shane and see what he's up to.
Hello, Kelsey.
Hello. I didn't sneak up on you today. You're not wearing your headphones.
No, I'm jamming out into my speaker, man.
How's it going?
Trying to envision the future, Kelsey. What I'm working on currently is the hinge set to access the stove here. But I'm realizing that I can't install it until I finish the countertop, so you know, we must move forward. As many days before, my progress tends to look like chaos until it comes to a closure. Today, I worked on setting up the hardware for this access area. I've also worked on a little spice rack that'll go right here next to the sink, and it'll be embedded behind the couch, as well as I finally got to put the hardware on for my main apparatus on the seat. Coming for you, bathroom. We'll get some more done tomorrow. Well, the weatherman says it may be or might or possibly rain this morning, so I am trying my best to get everything done outside I need to before that maybe starts. Last night, I stopped my night letting more wood glue dry here on this corner, and the point is to build it out a little so I can turn it all into one shape, and I'll show you today what I'm going to be doing. I'm hoping to bring some finality to this dinette area as well. There's a lot going on in here. All right, so I've routed out all of my FRP, and that's netted me this nice hole. And all of this is for going around the plumbing. So we'll have a diverter, so you know, the thing you turn on and off to make your shower happen, and the water lines are going to be running on the surface of the shower in there. So I needed this to go around those water lines, and you'll be seeing those soon. Let's see if we can get this thing in.
Yo, that sun didn't actually really come out today, but what little light we did have is quickly dwindling. I think it's time to come get Shane and see if I can get him to call it a night.
Hello, Kelsey.
Hey, are you ready to come home?
I'm in the middle of progression, but I can't see shit. Yeah, it's probably about time. Come look and see what I've done today. It's all back here. You gotta come on in. They need to see, Kelsey. They need to see.
Oh, wow.
La pooper. But there's also these handy dandy amenities that you're not supposed to pull the slide out. And then this and this. Make a bed.
So cool, Shane.
The amount of fancy hinges and sliders I have had to research to make this vision happen, Kelsey, is unprecedented for me.
Very, very impressive. Can you show the shower off too?
Oh yeah, that's right. All this is so you can do this, which I also put this wall in today.
Awesome.
It moves a lot. It's like a transformer.
Oh, we're so close.
Today, I'm trying to turn this creation into a throne. So I got the basic shape yesterday, and now it's time to come in and sand everything and glue it. And start getting ready to paint it. It's coming fast. Let's see what we can make this thing look like today. Purdy, hopefully. Purdy. Alright, y'all. I thought I would share one of those sillier things that I do. I'm going to be cutting out the face of this. Now, the problem is, in order to take this thing outside and, you know, cut it out on the bench, that would be removing this whole structure. But if I don't remove more of this box, it's going to make the toilet impossible to get in and out, which is going to be important because if someone is sleeping here, that toilet's going to have to be taken out and set over here, you know, in case you need to use it. So the only solution is to take this here jigsaw and follow these lines I've drawn. All right, time to cut upside down on my head.
Let's be very, very quiet and see if we can sneak up on him today.
I was shooting videos for YouTube, Kelsey.
I know, we saw.
Well, you'll see that picture later, I guess. Whew. Clampy, right?
Clampy indeed.
We're fortifying things, Kelsey. We're fortifying.
Almost time to paint it all, y'all.
Oh, that ain't bad for one pass. I got a little crooked right there in the bend. Nothing a little sander won't fix right up though. Ooh, that looks good.
Meanwhile, we're playing in the Jennings State Forest. Boy, it's pretty out here.
Now, one of my missions in life is finding the best latches. And I've installed a bunch of different designs. And I came across these. A lot of the stuff I'm using in this build is quote unquote marine. And that's what I'm typing into Amazon. And what you end up getting is some really cool hardware that's stainless and stands up to humidity, which is really important for this particular rig because we're outside of Jacksonville. These are not a particular name manufacturer, but it is one of the best latches I've come across. And I'm using them in all the cabinets, but this particular one is just being used as a friction. So, bada bing, bada boom. Totally adjustable. Ain't that cute? Well, the work lights are officially on, which means it's progressively getting harder and harder to see and hear. I will say I got a lot done in this corner today. Tomorrow, that table is up for some finishing. Still kind of ugly moving this direction. We'll see what we can do tomorrow. Oh, it is a beautiful one today, and I'm picking up right where I left off. I'm making some creative fortifying and trim work for this box to go down this edge here. And I've already started doing the trim work for in here. I'm utilizing PVC, so vinyl PVC. It's dimensional, so I've ordered some 90 degrees that I'm going to be making trim out of for this. And I also have some of the 3/4 by 4 inch, and I'm going to route it out so all of this nests together when the slide closes. Let's keep making this thing look like a spaceship. You know, I kind of like this stuff, this fake wood. You can make almost anything out of it. It doesn't really splinter, so you can route it and create some interesting shapes with it. Let's go stick this in there and see what it looks like. Hello, Kelsey.
Hello, how's it going in here?
Shapely. Very shapely. Come look at all the curves and swoops and things. We're becoming a spaceship, Kelsey. I'm out there. Well, I have worked till it's sufficiently dark. Kelsey just sent me a message and said dinner's ready at 8 o'clock, so I guess it's time to quit. You can see as much as you can see. We'll make it better tomorrow. You know, it seems no matter where we travel to and I do these conversion projects, there's always some squirrels to watch. It's time to get started back on this again this morning. Let's keep going with this. So the point in stacking this wood this way is adding dimension to it. So one, it's just not a flat box. And two, I'm trying to reach a level of thickness because I have to make latches to hold this table up. Let's see what we can form around this window this morning. You tried to get me.
I did. I tried really hard.
Not today, Tex.
How's it going in there?
Great! I've got my noise canceling headphones on to drown out the lawnmower next door. Good Lord. Kelsey? You got me. And I wanted to point out the reason for the painter's tape so early on. And that's, I'm using little brad nails to hold this in place. I'm gluing them to each other, but there's nails. So what I'm doing is I'm nailing through the tape. And that way I'm gonna be able to just fill in the little brad hole and then pull the tape off. Versus what I did here, which was fill in the brad holes, and then I have to sand down everything. It'll make the whole experience a lot faster. I also wanted to point out just how much of a difference a router bit can make. Now I've routed along through here, and this is where I stopped, obviously. Now watch the difference it makes when I change this one. One of the many steps of finishing this project is, as things are gluing and drying, I have to keep moving. And I've come down here to take the bottom of the cabinet out because until this point, the only anchor points are against the back wall. All the fronts of these cabinets are still loose. So if you were to hit a big pothole and bounce, these things would just... So my goal today is to start attaching them to the floor, and I'm utilizing just metal L brackets. And I'll be attaching those to blocking that I've already built into each one of these verticals, and I'll do it on both sides. And then I'm tapping these into the aluminum. And if that comes loose, I don't think that's gonna be your biggest concern in life. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna call it good for today. One of the last things I achieved was adding my wood filler to these holes on top of this tape. And tomorrow I'll come back and hand sand just the tiniest little spot that needs to be sanded, and I can pull it off. That will also allow me to continue routing around through here. I finished up this little protective access panel. The owner wanted to be able to access all of the wiring after I leave. So I'm utilizing rare earth magnets on the back of this panel. And the wires will come out of all of the cell phone chargers and what have you, and come up and run this way, and eventually back around to our power source. I got most of the cabinets down here anchored, but I have to take out these two drawers to finish that up, and I'm just too tired to do it. We'll make it look better tomorrow. I promise. Good morning, y'all. I've gotten out here and started pulling all this tape off. I did want to point out something to you. I gave you all advice, and I like to be honest when I give advice. I've used this trick with brad nails and tape before to fill in these holes, but what I have purchased and I'm using on this particular build is not a nail gun. It's an overglorified stapler, and unfortunately it does not have the oomph in it to push these little brad nails past the tape far enough that it can house the wood filler. So I've sanded it down, but it's still showing my nails. So anywhere there's a nail, I'll have to manually push in the wood there with a small little object and then backfill it with wood filler. See, it'll be okay. I'll show you. Now that I've got that panel back in place, it's time to finish doing this route around this cabinet. I just want to show you guys what a difference it'll make. As I'm waiting on, yet again, more glue to dry, I'm starting to work on my last layer for these cabinets. I'm going to be doing one solid piece of this 1/4 inch. And I've glued all these components. I'm just waiting on, once again, the glue to dry, and then I'll back out these screws. And that way this entire piecemeal face that I've created is now solidly glued. And all I'll do is I'll hang that cutout over, I'll tack it up, glue it up, and then route all of my entries and sand it, and it'll look like one solid movement all the way through. Let's see what we can get done, but I'm racing the sun. Oh my. It's dark in here, and I've managed to get the rough cutouts done, but there is still a bit of an overhang because I want to make sure that this is actually adhered and glued before I take a router to it and finalize these shapes. And with age comes wisdom, and some of that wisdom tells me I don't tackle such large projects this late at night. I can't see very well, and I'm prone to make a mistake, which after that glue sets is going to be rather unreversible. So I'm going to tell you guys some bad news. You're going to have to come back next week to see what this cabinet looks like finished. I'm sorry. I worked diligently all week to try to show you. I do want to say thank you to watching to the end of this video, as well as the many others previous to this one. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you check out some of our other social media like Facebook and Instagram. You can send us a direct message on those platforms too, or you can send us a good old-fashioned email at lovehutforlife@gmail.com. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.